All right, my name is Mark Hay.
I'm Jubei.
My name is Eduardo. Oh, that's you. My name is Bob Westbrook.
Owned the store for a little over 8 years. Originally, like most guys, I went to college, did the 4-year thing, got a bachelor's in management, emphasis in human resources, and then supervised people and was a human resources person for branch of an insurance office. Did that for 11 years until it sucked the soul out of me, and then I saw an opportunity. They were downsizing the office, so I saw an opportunity to open up a comic shop. I've collected comics since I was a kid, so I thought, I was already doing running an online art business, and so I thought the two businesses together would give me an opportunity to make a living and do something that I would enjoy instead of supervising people and doing the whole corporate thing.
I got started here in 2000, back when it was called Big World, different store. I started here to work for maybe a year just to get away from the real world, because that sucks. And I kind of just stuck with it. I've always collected comic books since I was a kid. So when the store sold, this new Mark bought it and decided to keep me on, and I decided to stay. It pays my bills, and I like what I do. Unfortunately, I didn't like what I used to do.
What did you used to do?
I was a manager for Young Chevrolet for their new car department and their make-ready, getting the new vehicles ready for sale.
Yeah, okay.
And as they say, the stuff rolls downhill, and I was at the bottom of the hill.
Mark was looking for help, and a young man who tabletop gamed with me here was joining the Army, and he asked him, his name was Dale Silver, you know Dale.
I think so.
He went into the Army. Anyway, he asked Mark, and I pushed Dale out of the way, said, nope, I'll take it. Mark thought about it for a second and said, okay, we'll give it a try. And been doing that ever since. I think it was 4.5, 5 years ago now. Oh, I guess it is getting on 5 years. Wow, makes me old.
Oh, that makes you old?
That makes me old. Dealing with these folks will make you tired.
Well, both the comic shop and the art business are work. I mean, the atmosphere is fun here. Getting to work with Bob and Jubei. I mean, and even customers. As you're aware, it's a fun environment. People are joking, so it's much less serious than working in the real world. So that's definitely a perk. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is work, and you're buying and selling stuff and working with customers. And while a lot of them are good guys, and some of them I even call friends, there's also regular retail situations where you get frustrated just like anybody else. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool, fun environment is one of the biggest perks.
As anything, you can cut up more here. So I probably wouldn't be the way I was today if I worked somewhere else. There's so much things you can get away with. Having fun with customers. Customers aren't uptight when they come in. This is usually a relaxed environment. So it's good. You see people come and go throughout the years. And it's just meeting good people. The downside of working at the comic book shop is if you're a gamer, you stop gaming. That's it. When you're at work, you're here, and then when I go home, I don't want to game. I've been here all day. I'm ready to go home, not do anything that has to deal with work. That's the downside. Other than that, everything else is good. If you read comics, you're in luck because you can take your comics home and read them. But if you're a gamer, it is a downside. You play less games than you think you would play. There's actually work to be done, either in the back office or ringing up customers and helping people out.
So what are your favorite perks of working here?
Perks. Getting to go to some of the fun shows. I didn't go this last time, but Jubei went with Mark to the Dallas Sci-Fi Comic-Con. And you get to meet the artists like Charlie Adler was in the store, and some of the other local artists like Michael Lark comes in from time to time. It's just neat to see the other side of some of these artists. Playing in some of the events you get to play occasionally.
What's the trouble?
It's got to be one of the coolest things to say people whom are gamers or nerds or whatever you want to call it. It's like, hey, I work at a comic shop. Oh, that's got to be the greatest job ever. Downside is you don't ever get to play anymore. Because by the time you're done with a 9-hour shift, you're ready to go home. You don't want to play your game that got you to the hobby shop to begin with. So there's this large collection gathering dust on the shelf that you don't get to play with very much. That's the downside.
So you just get to stare at it and see, ooh, that's shiny.
Shiny. Sit still, buddy. I'll get to you one day. Pretty much, that's the downside. Don't get to play as much as you want to.
It's pros and cons all kind of built into one. Is that I can set my own schedule and I can kind of do what I want during the day. No one's really telling me this is how it has to be. However, like I said earlier, the only way the work is going to get done and people are going to get taken care of is if I have a hand in it. So while I have flexibility, I also have to work a lot harder, than I did before. I mean, obviously I worked hard in my, in human resources, but it was a pretty much 8 to 5 type of job here, especially owning 2 businesses. I work pretty much from 8 in the morning, often till midnight, most every day, on one of or both of the businesses. So, I put in like 85 hours a week.
It's the rare, not that super rare.
No, I don't know everything. I don't deal with magic. That beast is too big, so I leave that to Bob and Mark. My expertise is with most other pop culture with the store. The gaming, the comics, the knickknacks. I keep up with everything else in the store. Ordering, knowing what to order, knowing what people like, kind of trying to find the genres that people are hitting at the time, keeping up with that.
I am pretty much counter help here. Jubei's the manager and Mark's the owner, and I pretty much take care of the online Magic card side of it. I've learned Magic the Gathering pretty well over the last few years after dealing with an endless amount of cards.
So is that all you do? Pretty much hang out?
Help run the tournaments, help run the inventory in the store, and help run the store. Okay. Make sure everything's nice and clean and stocked.
Well, San Diego Comic-Con is probably the nation's largest comic book convention, and I set up at it every year and have for 10 years, and so I mean, you tell people that and they get all wide-eyed because it's the biggest comic book show, and lots of movie stars and television stars attend it every year. So for me, it's really cool. but it's ultimately work. You know, I've been able to meet some pretty cool people though. So, you know, San Diego is probably the biggest as far as, you know, work-related stuff.
To set up and work to close, but then going in once the con gets rolling, it's really easy. It's not hard, but you don't get away from the booth as much as you would like. But the other thing is that if you stand in one place long enough, the con will pass you by. You see something you want, like the last Dallas Comic Con, I saw someone walk by with a print. I go, oh, where'd you get that? Okay, and that's when I saw you at the con. So I left, I went to go get the print I wanted, and then I came back to the booth. I don't get to walk around and go to the panels. Unless I set something up with Mark or something. I say, hey, I really want to go to this panel. So
I mean, in other words, you gotta get on your knees and beg.
Kinda.
Friday.
Just Friday. Or is that-
Friday Night Magic, yeah. Friday's geared towards the Magic the Gathering crowd, which has about 40 people come in. And like typical gamers, they come all strolling in at 6:45 expecting to pick up a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time in a line of people already trying to do the same thing. So it's just always hectic from 6:30 to about 7, and then it evens out over the rest of the night. We have about 40 gamers in the game room playing cards, and usually a few tabletop gamers as well.
So do you, in other words, feel like a bartender behind the counter trying to help, like?
Yeah, Friday nights it is. That's a pretty good analogy. It gets really, really busy. You got to think fast, go fast. I take that back. You don't think fast. You just got to go fast, and to get the people worked in and worked out.